Hey there, it's Mr. Schrader, and this is the StudyCast for January 16th, 2015. This is our daily rewind. Today, we had a really busy day this morning and afternoon in science and reading. Specifically, we filled up our notebooks, we got a bunch of our papers back, and we sorted them the way they needed to go. There will be several papers going home, but several put into our reading and our science notebooks, and some in our reading folders that are going to get turned in later. It's just an opportunity to get more organized and keep things where they needed to go. We did our spelling test today. We did our daily language practice. We finished that for the week, and we got that turned in. We also turned in an author's perspective paper that was done last week when I was gone, and wanted to make sure we get that in. Really what's most important from today, content-wise, is we have a science quiz next Tuesday when we'll come back to school. Remember, there's no school on Monday for Martin Luther King Day, so on Tuesday we have a science quiz. I want to spend some time right now going through the study guide that will be sent home today. The first question on the study guide talks about what is a circuit. Now, a circuit is a pathway in which electricity flows. So we have the idea of current, which is the actual flow of electricity. A current means flow. We have current in water. And electricity, we think of current being the flow of electricity. And it flows in a certain pattern or a certain path, and that path is called a circuit. And we studied two different types of circuit. We talked about a series circuit in which all of the components are linked. So it goes, the flow of electricity, the current goes from like the battery to a lamp to another light back to the battery, all in a big circle. They're all connected. The other type of circuit we talked about is a parallel circuit, in which the power comes from the battery and it kind of splits in two different directions. This direction will go to a lamp, and this direction will go to another lamp. And then they come back together as they come back to the battery. So those are called parallel circuits. Parallel circuits are important for a couple of reasons. First of all, the current is split. In a series circuit, all of that current is shared among all the components. So if the more components I add, the less power each component gets. So if I have two lamps on a series circuit, the lamps are going to be dimmer than they could be. If I put them in parallel, the current splits in different directions, so I get full current this way and full current that way. So in that case, it's positive that both of those lamps are going to be brighter. Another positive is that if one of the circuits goes out, it doesn't turn off all of the lights. A switch in a circuit is just an opportunity to break the circuit, to open the circuit, and be able to control that. A light switch, for example, if I flip it and it turns on the light, really what I'm doing is closing a circuit and allowing electricity to pass. When I turn the light switch off, I'm opening a circuit and making it so electricity isn't flowing. The last concept that we studied was resistance. Resistance means that we are slowing the flow of electricity. Electricity is still flowing, except it's kind of blocked somehow. I think about like a dam in a river. We have all this current coming, and then all of a sudden it's controlled how much can get out. And so that's resistance. It's the slowing of electricity. We use a component called a resistor, and we put them into our circuits, and we could actually measure how the current was slowed. So on a resistor, you have these kind of bands, and here's a picture of a resistor right here. And it has these colored bands, and remember, there are going to be 4 bands. There's going to be 3 colored bands, and then a gold band. The gold band is the last one. That's how you know you're at the end. So you read the bands, and the way you do it is you read the first band is a digit. So in this case, it's violet, which means 7, based on the key. The next band is a green. So going up to the key, that's a 5. So I have a 7, a 5. The third band, in this case a red one, red means 2, that tells you how many zeros I need to put. So I have a digit, and then how many zeros. So when I put all that together, I get 7,500. A couple of the examples that we came up with were a green, a black, and a black. A green would be a 5, so I use the digit 5. A black is a 0, so a 0. So I have a 5, 0, and then the last black tells me I don't need any zeros on the end. So my resistance, which is measured in ohms, is 50 ohms. I have a brown, a red, and a brown. A brown is a 1, a red is a 2, so I have a 1, 2, and then I have to go back to brown, which is 1, which is a 0. So I have a 1, 2, 0, 1, 0 at the end. So I have 120 ohms of resistance. So the first one I had 50 ohms, the second one I have 120 ohms. The second one gives me a lot more resistance, which means I'm going to get a lot less electricity flowing, so that light bulb is going to be dimmer. So the green, black one, the one that has 50 ohms of resistance, is less resistance. It's going to give me more current flowing and a brighter light bulb. And the last component that we study is a potentiometer. Now, a potentiometer, I call it a dimmer switch. I think about my light switch in my daughter's bedroom has a dimmer so I can make the light dim or bright. And all that is a variable resistor. It's an adjustable resistor. I can say I want a lot of resistance or a little bit of resistance. The volume knob in our cars, those are resistors. All it's doing is saying I'm not going to give as much electricity to the speaker, making the sound smaller. So it's a higher level of resistance, a lower volume, sorry. A higher volume means I have less resistance, and it makes the music pump. All right, so that's what we've got. Our science quiz is going to be on Tuesday. There may be some homework in reading Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, Chapter 8, and a 6 signpost page, but we're going to try to give some time in class to do that as well. So look for those items, make sure you're studying, and have a great 3-day weekend. Bye-bye.